I traveled last week. I bought fuel, I think between around 1,000 naira and thereabout. On my return, fuel was 1,300.
That same day?
The next day. Yesterday, we bought 1,235 naira in an NNPC retail outlet. 1,235 naira. And it's still biting. It's not easy on any Nigerian. Businesses who use diesel, men, they are shouting. And transportation have shut up.
Yeah, of course.
Not will, has shut up.
Yes, it has.
Transportation have shut up highly. So you find out that even our children in schools, they are calling us that you need to send money. Because the price of food have shut up in this short period of time. So, but government has to put on a thinking cap on how to cushion the effects of the war on Nigeria.
There is pressure on the federal government to introduce economic relief measures as the escalating conflict between the United States and Iran drives up global oil price and pushes petrol costs to record levels across Nigeria. Now, industry operators, economists, labor unions, and private sector leaders have urged the federal government to deploy the expected windfall from the high oil price to cushion the impact on citizens and businesses. Now, warning that soaring fuel prices are already deepening economic hardship. Now, the stakeholders sought some palliative measures to cushion the effect of the rising petrol, diesel, and aviation fuel prices, especially as this may heighten the volatility of the country's inflation figure. Now, some even called on the government to subsidize the pump price of petrol. The calls come amid reports that petrol prices have climbed to between 1,200 naira and 1,300 naira per litre in different parts of the country, while projections from industry players indicate that price could exceed 1,500 naira per litre and potentially approach 2,000 naira per litre if the Middle East crisis persists. Now, as the war involving the United States, Israel, and Iran enter the third week with no reconciliation in sight, there are concerns that crude oil price would continue to rise, and this will drag petrol price above the affordable level. Now, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has been blaming the war for its recent increase in gas price, which rose less than 800 naira per litre before the war to now about 1,175 litre as of yesterday, Sunday evening. Now, recall that crude oil price was around $68 per barrel during the crisis, but it stood at about $103 as of yesterday, Sunday evening. Now, the big question is, should the federal government just sit down and do nothing, or should concrete steps be taken to ensure that Nigerians do not suffer on account of a war Nigerians do know nothing about? Hence, a need for us to talk about it on the show today. And that is the war in the Middle East and its economic toll on Nigerians. And that's what we're having as a major discourse today on the show. We're talking about the recent war in the Middle East. We're talking about the United States and Israel war in Iran. And the resultant effect it's now having on Nigerians. Funny enough, who have no hand in the war. But anyway, they're having their hand to pay real big money as it concerns the increase in pump price of petrol. But anyway, as much as that increase is there, I feel it's only timely that we tend to talk about it, knowing that a whole lot of Nigerians seems to be going through that difficult period at the moment. And to help us talk about this, we have no other person. But anyway, he does have an NGO, so you understand the pain in his heart. And not only that, he's also an economist of high repute. And we're talking of no other person but Mr. Austin Uwuseba, JP. Good morning and welcome to the show. And I know Nigerians might not be smiling on account of what we've just read out. Good morning anyways. Welcome to it.
Good morning. Thank you, Mike, for having me.
Now, before we go into the issue of the pump price of petrol and what this war has brought to Nigerians, this will be the third week into the war.
Yeah.
And funny enough, the 17th day of the war, which started on the 28th day of February when Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in that joint strike between US and Israel. Now, my question is, Are we going to have a total continuation of this war? Because the reason I ask this, we do know Hezbollah has opened up another front in Lebanon. And with the reports we are getting on dialogue, the Houthis in Yemen are planning to join the war. And not only that, we also do know that the EU are stepping up every way to defend their interest in the Middle East. So my question is, are we going to have a late war? Or do you see this ending up pretty soon?
Well, Mike, first and foremost, wars, when they happen, you cannot really predict the end game.
Okay.
But like the United States, ever before going to the war, they were saying it's going to be about 2-3 weeks.
4 weeks at
4 weeks
tops.
affair at most. But somehow the Iranians are putting up a very strong resistance. Not what the US really predicted or expected.
Yeah.
Having said that, the war itself do affect other sovereignty, because if we cannot pass through the Straits of Hormuz, businesses, oil tankers cannot pass through there. Therefore, it has started affecting other nations that were not part of the original plan. You mentioned Hezbollah and the Houthis.
Yes, of Yemen.
Those are groups funded by Iran.
Yes.
So, therefore, it implies that when Iran is faced with a war, those groups will certainly follow suit in support of their sponsors.
Yes.
So you cannot rule that out. And that is where the escalation begins to come in. Other nations, like you mentioned the EU and all that, mind you, they are always partners with the United States.
Yeah.
They have the NATO treaties that they've signed.
Yeah.
When it affects one nation, it affects the other. Knowing that the United States is the highest sponsor of NATO.
Yeah.
So, if America is going into war, it thereby means other NATO members are somehow part of the war
Itself.
If not directly, indirectly, they are part of the war. And mind you, the French, the Britain, and all that, they have interests in the Middle East.
Yeah.
They have base,
Yeah.
military base in the Middle East. So, everybody will want to protect his interest, thereby now being dragged into the conflict.
So are you saying the war will go on for a long time? Do you see that happening?
Well, you see, from internal information from Iran, there's a crack. There has been so much crack. I don't know how long they will be able to withstand the pressure being mounted by the US
And Israel strikes.
Particularly when all military infrastructures
Have been degraded.
There is sometimes even civilian infrastructures have been degraded, and they are targeting the regime's leaders.
Okay.
So we cannot predict how long the Iranians will hold on.
Okay.
If I would suggest for them is to come to the table for negotiation.
Okay, so you just talked about negotiation, and you're almost dragging me into a major question, because let's try and understand this. Now, before the war started, there was negotiation on Iran
ongoing
negotiation on Iran nuclear program.
Yes.
And we've even heard that 2 days before the war, Iran was almost putting something on the table to reduce a significant part of the enrichment of uranium. But others will also say that they were just playing to the gallery and buying time. There was no way Iran would have in any way stopped the enrichment of uranium and put a halt on their nuclear program. So my question now is, was the war inevitable?
Going by, if you listen to the kind of comments that come from the leadership of the the Iranian Revolutionary Guards, you find out that the kind of threat they issued threat of extinguish, eliminating entire country Israel. Those are not statements that are good. They are not war statements.
Yeah.
These are statements of threat to a nation, existence of a group of people.
And funny enough, more like an ideology.
An ideology. You understand? So you find out that these statements are not war related. Because in a war, we are trying to say, okay, let us target military interests, political interests, and economic interests. We're not talking about the civilian and all the women, children, and all the people who are not part of the war. But if you, the kind of threat, or the kind of statement that comes out of Iran is to extinguish Israel out of the map of the world. The question now is, if these people are allowed to have a nuclear warhead, won't they use it on a go at any slight provocation? So, Israel want to defend its sovereignty. Its sovereignty, not just its sovereignty, its existence.
Okay.
You understand? They want to defend their existence. And, you know, the United States and Israel have been partners over the years. So, if Israel is going to the war, the United States must also be part of the war. And particularly when the United States have a lot of interest in the Middle East. So, those statements, while negotiations are going on, tend to put everybody on the edge. And Israel was okay, why don't we take out the Iranian Revolutionary Guard? Particularly, Mike, you know, before this war itself, there was an uprising in Iran.
Yes.
And the way at which the Iranian government suppressed the internal demonstration, from records, over 34,000 people were killed, executed, imprisoned, and all that. The level of suppression was so mean. You understand? So, the world was watching. Records were being taken. And these people are, the ideology that is pushing them on is not in a modern reality.
It's not sane.
It's not sane. You understand?
In a modern world.
In a modern world. This is the 21st century, for God's sake. The idea of eliminating a race, extinguishing, you want to remove Israel from the map of the world.
So all you are saying is it was very inevitable.
It was very inevitable. There was no way they would have escaped it. Because, mind you, the Shah of Iran that was ousted by this same
Islamic
Republic. The family is still intact, alive. The children are also pushing from the United States. The son, who is a prince, is pushing from the United States. And there are some calls from inside Iran for him to come and take over government. And he's not a hardliner as this regime is. So, you know, the United States will be saying, if they make way for this, the Shah family to come and take over government, it will be a win-win for everybody. Because before now, the former government that was taken over toppled by this administration, they had relationship with other Arab Gulf states and the United States. So it wasn't a hardliner regime. So hence, the United States tried to pave way for that Shah family to come in. So,
but I'm only also wanting to ask now. Let's look at it now. As of mid-March, the Iranians have launched drone and missile attacks, not only on Israel, on Tel Aviv or Jerusalem or other parts of Israel, but rather they've been targeting Gulf Cooperation Council nations, the GCC, nations like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, and all of that. And funny enough, just recently even, they gave an evacuation notice just yesterday, Sunday, to some around the port of the UAE to evacuate there. That's not only what they did, they also blocked the Strait of Hormuz, blocking ships from going through there. So my question, all of this seems to even be what is affecting us as a nation, Nigeria. The pressure it's having on global oil price. Now, my question, this is the tactics of the Iranians. Do you see this working? Do you see the reason why the war is still lingering for long? Or do you finally see them failing on that strategies or that tactics in this push
that strategy,
to have pressure on the United States to end the war and
that
Israel?
strategy seems not to be working.
Why do you feel so?
In the sense that, let's take a country like Qatar,
Okay.
who has been in the middle of Qatar has been in the middle of settling disputes.
Yeah, always been
settling disputes between
the mediator.
a mediator, playing a mediator role.
Yes.
And now they are being dragged into the war. Qatar is trying to defend itself against external aggression, particularly from threats from Iran. Oman, one of the neighboring Gulf countries, that was a strong mediator between Iran, United States, and Israel, has been struck by Iran missiles. So you find out that instead of the brotherly love thing that was supposed to be there, let's see how we can bring peace, call everybody back to the table. Everybody's angry. Everybody's trying to defend its sovereignty, defend itself. So that tactics of trying to pull other people as a means to pressure the United States to come to the table is not working for Iran.
Okay. So and you feel this will eventually fail?
It has failed. It's not working.
Okay.
It has failed. Even, you see, China is having oil through that same Strait of Hormuz. They're having oil. Now, the United States have resorted to bombing
the Kar Island.
The Kar Island, where is Iran oil facility and military base. That's another tactics of renegotiating.
Okay.
Because,
but do you see this dragging Iran to the table?
If you, the president of the United States, we are negotiating through strength, not through weakness.
And he's not ready for a deal.
He's not ready for a deal now.
Okay, well, anyway, the deal
that he's only saying that Iran must surrender.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're not surrounding the discussion, but rather making it more robust.
Yeah.
And hence, we are going now straight to Abuja. We have another person joining us. He's an economist.
Okay.
We want to talk about the economic part of all of these conflicts that seems to be raging on. And we're being joined by no other person but Mr. Ben K. Adams. He's of Ben Esty Global Finance Foundation. And, well, I guess he's with us right there. Good morning and welcome to the show. Nice to have you on Dialogue this awesome Monday morning.
Hello, morning. I'm glad to be with you. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Dialogue. Now, we want to dive deep into it because we're looking at the global oil price and how that is affecting us as a people. Before the war, it was around $68 per barrel, but as it stands now, it's $103 per barrel. And Dangote Petroleum Refinery is saying that, sorry, there's nothing he could do about it. But my first question now, sir, does this recent increase in the pump price of petrol not expose weakness in Nigerian downstream petroleum sector, as question claims that the local refinery would in every way be able to absorb effect from the global oil price, but now it's showing us that there's a weakness in Nigeria downstream sector? Is this not a proof that even if we have our local refinery, it does not shield us from the global market itself?
Sorry, I missed you along the part.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Now, all I'm saying is this recent increase in the pump price of petrol not a pure indication that we are now being exposed to the global market, rather than what we are being told by the federal government that if we now start having our own local refinery, the global markets I'm talking about the global oil price will not in every way affect us. But is this not a clear indication that we are now being exposed and our local refinery really is not there? The downstream sector is not really doing us much good.
All right, so let's start with maybe what I want to say, establishing the facts. Nigeria actually have the crude oil, and we export crude oil. Okay. Fortunately, Nigeria also rely on the sales of this crude oil for 90% of our income. So where the global prices are going, it look more like a big time or a victory dance for Nigeria, because it now means we are going to be making more money in the country. While effort has actually been made by the current government and the previous government before time to shift from reliance income from, unfortunately, that is yet to be achieved. Now, we have Dangote Dangote refinery, and the expectation of everybody, especially the government, is that Dangote refinery, we shouldn't be affected with happening in the global outlook, the war of Iran, America, Israel. We were supposed to be affected. That is what the street expected. But the important thing is, when we're being reached with Dangote refinery, they were not pegging the pricing local price. It works. Also, Dangote gets his crude oil through what is called OPEC pricing. So, if getting it from the local, is OPEC pricing that is being used. As soon as prices of crude oil goes up, it basically means Dangote is going to be paying more oil. More for the oil. So if the price also goes down, they pay less for the crude oil, despite the fact that it is also being supplied from here. But the challenge here is that it is done through OPEC pricing. And because it is OPEC pricing, everything that happens in the global outlook gets to affect Dangote. So this is actually the foundation I want to lay first of all. Then before we now move to the question of why it's affecting us, is there no way we can do anything about it? The government will tell you doing their best to see how they can actually solve the problem and so on and so forth. But one of the things I've heard from the government of the day so good is the fact we had made provision for CNG and enabled vehicles. All right. So recently, last exercise, the federal government went out to say we are increasing the number, the quota of CNG conversion in Nigeria. So it's going to be increased to about 100,000, so that all of these and from prices of crude oil going up or going down, we do not have much effect. All right. So the truth is, it does. It does. And we don't have a transport system because this is where it now affects the common man.
I would really need you to help us understand it before we let you go. I know how really busy you are. But now, according to our findings on Dialogue, we discovered that Nigeria will make nothing less than $7.2 billion on account of this moderate crisis that is happening, which is also a good one for the revenue of the federal government. Now, our question, because of the high sale of crude, like we do know, especially as it concerns the global market. Now, is can't we use that money being generated to help subsidize the petrol price Nigerians are paying for? Because it looks as if the government is reaping, but the citizens are at a loss. So can't we use that money generated, the 7.2 billion United States dollars that would be generated on account of this crisis, even if it lingers just for even 3 or 4 weeks, can't we use that money to subsidize the petrol pump of the price of petrol just for the period to help Nigerians deal with the rising inflation? You will agree with me that the inflation has been going down for a long time now, and this is there to offset that downward trend. So can the government do that to help deal with the issues of inflation and help Nigerians with soft landing? Did you get my question? Okay, we'll see how we can bring him on board so he can really answer that. But let me come back to you now, Mr. Austin Uwuseba. You heard what he said. It is obvious that Dangote is buying at OPEC control price. That is why sometimes if we look at the international market, it will either come down, petrol will be sold for 800 naira today, tomorrow it will be sold for 900 naira. But my question, just like I've asked him, can't we, knowing that we are locally producing the crude itself, can't we do the naira for crude deal rather than using international benchmark to sell our crude to a locally refined refinery in the country? Can that be done?
It can be done, but it has been paid with a lot of challenges. Supply challenges, pricing challenges. So, you have had Dangote cry out some time ago about how is it NUPRC?
Okay, NURP, yeah.
NURPC, one of the...
yes, NUPRC.
One of the NPC
subsidiaries that deals with the,
Do you understand? They were having issues, particularly on pricing. And the NPC group, they were of the argument that we should not be totally tied to one-man business. But coming back home, our Nigerian-owned refineries are not working. And we don't have reserve to caution this kind of challenges that the war brought up. There's no internal reserve for petrol or diesel or our locally used products. So therefore, Dangote that gets its oil at the international price, once there's a conflict from the international setting, it affects Dangote, and in turn, it affects our local consumers.
Sir, can we not do the naira for crude swap and reduce the price for Dangote to get this, just to help us be a bit cushioned, to reduce the pump price of petrol from 1213 down to maybe like 1,000 naira, 900 naira, as it was 2 weeks back? Can we do that?
Nobody was prepared for this sudden
change
or war that came up from the international setting. Nobody was prepared for it. So government will have to go back to a drawing board and see what can be done. According to reports from the presidency, they are monitoring the situation.
So should they monitor till the fuel price gets to 1,500 naira? Should they monitor till the fuel price gets to about 2,000 naira?
Mike, I will tell you that if not for the fact that Dangote set up a refinery in Nigeria, and this period will have been buying fuel up to 2,000. I'm telling you the truth. If not for the fact that, because we were
transportation
we're reliant
haulage will come in. I understand.
We're reliant on importation of finished products.
Yes, I understand.
Which the disruption in the Middle East
would have affected
now.
Yes.
Even while Dangote is producing, we still have people who import finished products to Nigeria.
We still have like 30% of
we have about some of our people still import fuel. So, to some extent, Nigerians should thank Dangote who had the foresight and the knowledge to put such a facility about 600 to 650 liters
capacity
production daily.
Okay. Now,
So Dangote is to the rescue.
okay, well, anyway, we'll rescue this discussion. Let's bring back our economist all the way from Abuja, Ben Adams. Now, Mr. Ben, I'm happy you are still there with us, and I know you are following the discussion, especially with our guests in the studio. Now, let me return back to my former question that I asked you. Nigeria is going to make 7.2 billion United States dollars on account of this war, if it even lasts for just 3 weeks. Can that money be channeled back into subsidy for petroleum products for Nigerians? Do that. So my question is, can't the government help to use that money that would have been channeled, that we're making, will be more like windfall on the war? Can't they use it back to help subsidize the fuel?
Yeah, that's what I said. I think it's very possible. I don't know about subsidy, but it's possible for government to do a lot. For instance, reduce the pressure on naira. And another thing is to probably deflate our foreign debts. Nigerian currency.
Issues, and I will just plead with Mr. Ben Adams. It looks as if we'll just seek his guidance on this, maybe another time from now. We really thank him so much for having that patience and being with us on this. Let me come back now to you. Well, I'll still throw you that same question.
That's the question, yeah.
Please, can we not use this money, windfall from the war, to help deal or cushion or subsidize? Okay, let me not put subsidize. Let me rephrase my question like lawyers do. Can we not use this to help reduce the pump price of petrol in Nigeria, sir?
Like I told you previously, thank God that we have Dangote who has come to the rescue.
Okay.
You see, if not by now, the pump price of petroleum would have shot up to about 2,000.
2,000 something. Yes,
something. So, having put that foundation, you have to know that, one, government, like you rephrase your question on subsidy.
I am not saying subsidize, but cushion.
The present government doesn't even want to hear anything about subsidy.
That's why I rephrased my question.
Cushion the effect. Government said they are monitoring the situation, and their think tanks will come up with policies that will benefit Nigerians. However, the Nigerian government have been on one word, that from the time they stopped subsidy till this present moment, every revenue that has been generated from the sales of crude oil and all that, it in turn turns to huge revenue for states to go into infrastructure, payment of salaries, and all that. So it therefore means the same will be applicable to the excess revenue that will be generated as a result of this war. Not really to cushion the cost of the price of petroleum. Official NNPC came out with one price. And you find out that NNPC is not in control of Dangote.
Yeah.
You understand? But in my view, as a Nigerian, as somebody, the government would have find means to cushion this effect on Nigerians because it's really biting. Mike, I traveled last week. I bought fuel, I think between around 1,000 naira and thereabout. On my return, fuel was 1,300.
That same day?
The next day.
Uh-huh.
Yesterday, we bought 1,235 naira in an NNPC retail outlet. 1,235 naira. And it's still biting. It's not easy on any Nigerian. Businesses who use diesel, men, they are shouting. And transportation have shot up.
Yeah, of course.
Not will has shot up.
Yes, it has.
Transportation have shot up highly. So you find out that even our children in schools, they are calling us that you need to send money because the price of food have shot up in this short period of time. So, but government has to put on a thinking cap on how to cushion the effects of the war on Nigerians.
Okay. Now, I really want us to look at another major thing because we're also opportune to monitor the comments of Nupeng yesterday.
Okay.
And they came out with a very robust move that they feel this government can do. We have now shifted subsidy. It can be done. But they talked about the government cutting down on some of other taxes and charges on account of petroleum products. Now, we on Dialogue, we always do this. That's why we pride ourselves in doing our discussion every time on Dialogue. We went on our own and investigated and found out that as of Dangote refinery itself, petroleum refinery, about 40, they pay nothing less than 40 charges or taxes to the government of different levels. They pay 40 charges or taxes, different. Now, can the government remove all of those charges and taxes to at least, even if it's the fuel will fall by 50 naira, 100 naira, would that not be effective to help Nigerians deal with the issues? Remove those taxes and charges. Let it be for the now. And let us just enjoy that a bit to help deal with the issues of inflation.
Mind you, a new tax law have been signed into law by this current administration. There was a reform in the tax system. And it was supposed to take care of multiple transactions and reduce the pain of multiple transactions on businesses in Nigeria, which include Dangote. It was supposed to be implemented in this January, first quarter of 2026 and going forward. So, I don't know what other tax holiday Nupeng wants government to give to Dangote. You understand? Because there's a new tax regime. Which
Nigerians will be amazed.
So,
can the government just for this short period of time while the war is going on, just try to do that? Remove major taxes on petroleum products that local refineries are being taxed.
I told you previously, every war that occurs is not a friendly thing.
No, of course.
You understand? If it is in our shores here, the government will start recruiting, conscripting citizens into war. Nobody wants to go to the war, but government is now forced to conscript. So therefore, it means war has a negative effect. That is why you see in all the United Nations charters, United Nations is trying to ensure that we don't run into conflicts. Because it doesn't tell well for anybody.
It's going to hurt the global economy.
It's already hurting the global economy. It's affecting the global economy. It's affecting logistics. It's affecting transportation. It's affecting every strata of economy. This 14 days, 17 days war is affecting everything. Every nation is affected. Some countries, they're supposed to have crude supply to them for refining. They can't get crude.
Yeah.
You understand?
Like the Netherlands and all of that.
All of them, everybody is being affected. And governments are putting on the thinking cap on how to, on quick measures, find solutions to cushion
So
effect of the
for
war.
you, because of time,
Yeah.
what do you feel the Nigerian government needs to do now? Because if we talk about CNG, which they are thinking towards, and which our guests in Abuja told us about,
Yeah.
it's going to take a while. We know how Nigerians are modalities and paperwork and from one table to another. All of that will drag on for a very long time. We're talking about quick, short measures. Are there any quick, short measures that will help deal with this problem being faced by Nigerians at the moment?
Mike, regrettably, our government is always slow to action.
Okay.
When it involves issues like this. But let's give it to the present government. Maybe they will do something right at this time.
Okay.
But the Nigerian government, regrettably, like I said, they fall short of doing the right thing at the right time. Because if we look at the CNG program, let's take our state, for example, Delta State.
Yeah.
How many CNG athletes do we have? And we have a war that is before us. Because I say a war between Israel, US, and Iran is affecting our sovereignty.
Yes, it is. It's affecting our sovereignty.
So we must take a position as it regards this war. Because Nigeria as a country, we have so many charters that we are signed to.
Yeah.
So we begin to look at all these things on a global scale. It's not just on our local level alone. We have to look at them on a global scale. How do we caution this? How do we go about this? We must take position as regards the war.
Now, it is obvious that as it stands, Nigeria are going would continue to go through a difficult time.
Yeah.
As much as the war drags on. Now, my question is, how do we end this? How does the global scene end the current war? Like I said, just yesterday, Iran has told people in the UAE area, especially around the ports, to evacuate, that they will definitely attack those ports because of American interest there.
Yeah.
And because of the attack in the Cook Island. Now, Americans, as we know, are sending almost a 4,000 unit of Marines heading that way, which everybody is implying that Donald Trump wants to secure that island, to put more pressure on Iran via stopping the petrol going to China to ensure that China is also feeling the heat and put pressure on Iran. The visit that President Trump would have visited China in the coming days ahead, he has cancelled it and put a plug to it at the moment. Now, do you see, and we do know that the UK, as we speak now, is sending their naval unit to the Strait of Hormuz to see how they can help deal with mines and booby traps being set for oil tankers not to pass that strait. Do you feel if all of this finally comes in, the war will end, or how do we end this war in the Middle East? How would it end?
As an international relations student, what is holding Iran presently is what we call national pride.
Okay.
It's just the national pride that is holding the Iranians. The present regime that is being dismantled by the United States.
By the day.
By the day. If I were to be one of the Iranians' leaders, we put national pride aside and come to the table. Because the economic cost to Iran, it will take them another 50 to 100 years to put the devastation that is taking place in Iran now together. It is not just a turnaround thing. It's going to take them years. And you see, what is being dismantling, what the US and Israel are dismantling presently? Ideology. You understand?
But do ideology, do they ever get destroyed?
No, they get destroyed because, some of the young Iranians, they were born into this system. They grew up in this system because from 1979, when the Shah of Iran was disposed from government, till now, it's close to about 40-something years.
Yes.
about 47 years.
Yeah, 47.
So you find out that the middle age of Iranians, they grew into this system. And, you know, with constant pressure, internally and externally, people are beginning to see the issues from a different perspective. So there are some class of Iranians that don't believe in the Islamic regime, Republic ideology any longer. And the Iranians from the diaspora Iranians, they are putting pressure internally too on their people, so that they can
But do the people have the guns to fight the regime?
That is
yes,
what
we do know Israel is degrading.
That's what
the
that is
regime,
what the US.
But do they have the
That
guns
is what
to fight?
Israel,
the
US
problem.
are doing currently. And if you listen to the first statement of Trump, he said, he told the Iranians that the government is for you to take. You understand? It is for you to take. And you know, there have been uprising, which have been terribly suppressed by the Islamic Republic, violently suppressed by the Islamic Republic. But if you see currently, even before the war, they shut down internet. So there will be no internal communication between the...
And presently now, the internet is being shut down.
No, but as at yesterday, the internet have started picking up. So there's communication between the locals. So, particularly when the Islamic Republic has been dismantled to a terrible place.
So do you see that happening? And do you feel that will be the tipping stone to end this war?
It is, America is discussing from a position of strength. Sir, in my own way of thinking, you cannot be hiding in a bunker and issue threat. Come out and issue threat. You cannot be hiding as like a rat in a bunker and issue threat and tell citizens to go and fight, and you are hiding. So, if you want to stand, say you want to stand and defend your sovereignty, you want to uphold your national pride, come out and do the fighting. Don't hide in bunkers.
So will this war end pretty soon, in your own assessment?
Well, when I was listening to both the Secretary of War and the Joint Chairman,
Central Command,
not the Central Command, the Joint Chief, I think Admiral Kane, in their earlier planning, they didn't anticipate the kind of resistance the Iranians are putting up now. So it's to some extent altered the planning and the thinking of
the
Americans. Hence, you see that they are bringing more equipment and personnel, and also calling on allies to come out to support. Because it's not really a one-man war. It's something that can be jointly done. You understand? America was putting pressure on Spain so that they can use their base to launch. And to some extent, after some pressure, Spain seems to be caving in. You understand? Caving in. And the UK too. Like, I listened to the former Prime Minister of the United Nations, of the United Kingdom. I think, what's his name? They were saying, you don't deny your ally support, especially at this time, that the UK must be willing to support the United States.
But Sama is already doing something.
After pressure from internal,
anyway, Kemi Badenoch had a whole lot to say about whether the British government, let's leave all those drama between the Labour and the Conservative and look at more issues. Now, time is not a friend. I know we would have been loving to discuss more. But time is indeed, my PD is already letting me know that we'll be talking for close to an hour now. And we really do need to go. But before we finally go, sir, is there a timeline to this war?
America was planning 4 weeks to 5 weeks.
Did you see that happening?
We're on the third week.
We're just entering the third week.
We're just entering the third week. Well, like I keep on saying, if I were to be the Iranians, we would have throw in the towel, negotiate, and let's
And move on.
And move on. Because, to be honest, Mike,
Do you see them doing it in 2 weeks' time?
the pressure is high.
It might happen.
It might happen. The pressure is so high, and it might happen.
Do you see Nigerian government doing something about the pump price of petrol anytime soon?
Our system is very unpredictable. You understand? Our system is highly unpredictable. Most of our politicians are thinking of 2027 elections, and primary is just on the corner.
21st to 21st of April.
You understand? So the Nigerian system is more of election than finding present solution. Somebody jokingly said that Nigerians will give rights. They only share rights to Nigerians in every situation. When there is crisis, they share rights. When there is a war in other places that are affecting our pump price, they share rights.
So we are expecting rice and beans.
The president said they are going to share rights for the Lent and
Okay.
Lent and
While we wait for that and noodles to come, I need to really thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mike.
And talking of no other person, but Mr. Austin Uwuseba, JP, you do know, apart from just an economist, also have a great study in international relations and diplomacy, and indeed coming to give us an insight on what he feels. Thank you so much for your time,
Mike, for
giving us that insight into all that you feel will really happen. But anyway, for me, like I said, it's a wrap on the show, but you know I will always insist that the show doesn't end here. Let's get your reactions, comments, and indeed view as it concerns the war in the Middle East. And many will say it's none of our business. No, it is our business, because the pump price of petrol is 1.3 and might likely increase to 1.5 or 2,000 before the ending of the month. So definitely it's our problem as well. So let's get your reactions, comments, and views as it concerns this topic for today. But for me, it's a quick bye-bye. But stick around, because the news will come around the hour. And indeed, it's the first day of the week. Something to tread about is coming soon right here on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV.